Hey guys, and welcome. This is OG Construction Project Manager Oscar G here, and actually, this is more of an introduction video to my channel. Just started it, brand new. I'm located in Southern California, and this channel really I wanted to do something where we can be more like a community and come here for advice. We can share our stories, our experiences, and have some fun while we're at it. A little bit about me. I've been project engineer, superintendent, an assistant PM, and finally making my way to project manager at actually the same general contractor the entire time. After that, I was laid off. I became a structural steel erector, licensed here in California. And then after my partner decided that we shouldn't expand, I went ahead and just kind of wrapped it all up, closed out the company, and spent a little bit of time unemployed. Then I went to a cabinet manufacturer, actually a commercial millwork company, and was a project manager there um, for like 6 months, and then I got sick. I ended up needing a kidney transplant. Luckily, my brother was a match, and he, was all in. I didn't have to ask him or anything. He volunteered. So, like I said, luckily we were a match. I actually got transplanted this last March, March 10th, right before the coronavirus stuff just exploded, and then I couldn't, I wouldn't have been able to get the transplant. I would have had to wait because they put all of those transplant surgeries um, on hold and elective surgeries on hold. So that was luck, complete luck on my part. Uh, so, anyways, back to the channel. Like I said, I want it to be a community. You guys have pretty much sent me emails. I've got topics to talk about and all kinds of things. So, just kind of want to have it open channel. Email's going to be in the description. Just shoot me an email. I just wanted to start it every Monday. I can post something Monday, hopefully, well, actually Sunday night for Monday morning, so that if you guys are driving to work, you guys can listen to it. Um, you know, your way in. Uh, but like I said, want to be a community. I'm gonna start off with a couple topics here and there. Like I said, hopefully have it ready for you guys by Monday morning. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do like a midweek or maybe even just end it on Friday. A second video so that I can take the emails and answer them. Um, I was thinking probably, you guys send me the email, either a situation you want to share, an experience, and we can talk about it. I'll talk about it for a little bit. I take pretty much on it. You guys let me know in the email if you want me to use, only first names, last initial. Just like I'm Oscar G. You guys, Steve R. Alex M. Whatever you guys, have your, whatever your name is, and that way, no last names around here. And like I said, I'll have some topics. You guys email me. If it hits on a topic that I was going to talk about anyways, then obviously I'm not going to do the topic later on. We'll address it at the time. Uh, if I get all kinds of different things, we'll just kind of briefly talk about it, and I'll just go in depth more, later on. But cover all kinds of things, especially if you're, say, an up and coming project manager. If you're a project engineer at the time, this would be actually a very good place for you guys to gain some knowledge without having to go through what we went through, learning on the fly. Because I worked my way up. I didn't have the formal education. The project manager, which actually was the company I worked for, was a husband and wife operation. It was a mom and pop shop. There was an office manager, and then me. They brought me on as a project engineer, where the project manager, the wife, did all the paperwork all the time. So it was really a load off of her shoulders when I showed up, or when I came in. And it was actually a kind of a funny story. My father was a structural steel subcontractor, and they, contracted him for one of their projects. And, um, you know, he did work for him and stuff. And so growing up and everything, I actually wanted to be a structural engineer, and I did begin school, going and everything for becoming a structural engineer. And when I was looking for work, they said, hey, if he's looking for work, we can use a hand in here and gain some, industry experience. I was all for it. I came in not really knowing much general contracting. It was all structural steel. I had been then estimating at 15, 16 years old. I was doing takeoffs for my father and writing up proposals and submitting them to general contractors at home, especially during the summer, sometimes during school time. But again, a lot of experience, estimating uh, and talking to people, talking to engineers and stuff. When my father, was out and he's in the middle of, he's in the air hanging steel, and I'm sitting at home in the home office answering questions about the bids and stuff. So that's pretty much, a little bit about me. And like I said, I had recently had my kidney transplant, so this is what I'm going to be doing with my time for right now until I get back in the game. Um, you know, I had experience. Actually, a lot of my experience is in public works. State institutions, local hospital. We did a lot of work at in local hospitals, but also commercial work, ground up, um, TIs, remodels, that kind of thing. Very unique. Um, how do you call it? Very unique circumstances, existing conditions, crazy sometimes. And I'll tell you what, in a hospital, those engineers and the architects, they only go by what they can see. And by that, I mean, a lot of them don't even poke their head above the ceiling to take a look what is up there. Because, we're demoing and they're like, oh yeah, fire sprinkler goes through here, a duct runs through there, beam goes here. Guess what? So much stuff in the ceiling, they have no idea that was there. Now all of a sudden, change orders to reroute things, including a 480 kilovolt line feeding the main hospital. We had to move it in order to build. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We did not move the line itself. We had to redesign the concrete piles, the caissons. We had to rearrange them. The structural engineer had to come in, rearrange them, and we had to move things around and to just work around that 480 kilovolt line and build a brand new linear accelerator in a one-story existing, the one-story part of an existing three-story building. Yeah, we had to, put in 40-foot caissons. How do you do that with the roof at 18 feet above the ground? Yeah, that's right. We had to tear the roof off. So, anyways, back to the channel because we're veering off a little bit here. I would like to get this to the point where we can live stream and we can talk on the phone, and over and live stream for on the weekend, kind of talk about our week if we wanted to get some insight. Like I said, ask for advice. Hey, all of you guys that are in school right now to become a project manager, a construction project manager at that, you really need to work in the industry, or like this, get insight. Don't, so that you can avoid the pitfalls um, of learning the game. Because I'll tell you what, I've been to interviews where they said, I looked at the listing and it said, 5+ years of experience, or a bachelor's in construction management, or an equivalent of the two, whatever, 4 years in school plus a year experience, that qualifies you, and there were times that they threw that experience out the window to hire the guy with that degree. And guess what? Within a couple months, that company was looking for a replacement for that project manager. I'm telling you, you guys need experience, because that piece of paper the industry will bury you if you don't have some experience or an idea of what you really need to do. And I would really, really, I mean, I understand you want to get your degree done in 4 years, but I strongly suggest, even if it's a summer internship at a construction company, to be a project engineer or even just shadow a project engineer. If you have that opportunity, take it. You have no idea how invaluable that is. So, like I said, I started as a project engineer, learned the very first job I had to put together the submittal. We did we did framing and drywall in house, including doors, windows, and hardware. So the very first job I took on, I had over 100 steel the hollow metal doors, steel fully welded webbed um, door jambs, and the hardware insane with the keyway that only, the cylinders, the keyway that were only available to the hospitals, to the institutions, but we needed a letter from the hospital that said that we were given permission to order that keyway from the manufacturer. And I had no idea. We found out, actually, not even my boss had any idea. And we had to submit two, three, 4 times to get it right because it was very specific in the specifications where she hadn't even seen it before. We actually had to go to our door supplier, and he had to ask the rep, and then we got the answer. And it took me forever to get that submittal together, just the way they wanted it. For the fourth time when we submitted, we finally got an approval, and it was insane. But I'll tell you what, by that time, I had the hardware for each door and exactly the handing of each door where it went by heart. And I mean, honestly, we unloaded the doors, and I was like, that door's wrong right off the bat. We had to send a door back because it wasn't prepped correctly. And of course, then I took a look at the hardware. Hardware was wrong, obviously, because it was prepped wrong. We had to send that one assembly back. But it's just these things that stuff like this, you guys will go through. And like I said, from my experience, and hopefully, we get project managers here also, and assistant project managers, so that we have that experience and we can share it. And for you guys up and coming, you can say, you know what, I'm ready to deal with this. And situations come up, hey, it's not a problem. You don't even bat your eyes at it. You say, no problem, sir. I will take care of that if the owner is there. To the superintendent, to your boss, I can take care of it. I know what to do. I've heard of this situation before. And you know what? We will also discuss how to talk to engineers, talk to architects, any other design professionals, and also the owners' reps, any clients. We'll talk about some of the best ways to manage it. And not only that, conflict resolution. Because I'll tell you, change orders can get very heated. And I was not personally involved, but another company that was doing work at the same state institution that we were, I kind of sketchy on the details, but actually the owner's representative lost his cool, and security had to come and take him out of the room and get him to cool down while the architect and the contractor finished the meeting. It was bad. So, like I said, we'll go through some conflict resolution and how to talk to these people and kind of pretty much make them see your point without them realizing that you're leading them to the answer that you wanted. Um, the husband in the construction company, genius, and we'll kind of go over some of that stuff, right? Like I said, open community. You might hear me drop an F-bomb, say the S word every so often, and it's just because that's the industry. I don't like to curse and stuff, but sometimes it just slips out. Okay, so hopefully, this thing takes off, and we can have some open discussions. And like I said, I'm looking in Southern California, so a lot of stuff I'm probably going to talk about will be local here, especially code wise, because here in Southern California, seismic is huge, OSHPD that takes care of all the hospitals and the government institutions around here. They have some very strict stuff, and some of those inspectors really are on the ball and know what's up and coming in code and stuff. And so, we'll kind of talk a little bit about also, taking care of them and the inspectors, the IORs. A lot of them are pretty cool. Some of them have even been contractors, and they know. You say, hey, you know what? This, because of the existing conditions, we couldn't do it the way the plans show, but we want to do it this other way. And as long as you get them on board, which a lot of times, like I said, they'll be like, okay, no problem, as long as you do the paperwork. And honestly, guys, it's not that difficult. Public works, there's paperwork involved, not that difficult. We'll go over that kind of stuff. Change orders, no cost change orders for swapping up materials, but time change orders, that's a big, huge thing. All right, a lot of people forget about the time. For some changes, well, swap one thing for another is readily available, not a big deal. You got stuff that special order all of a sudden, then you're gonna need extra time. Okay, so speaking of time, we wanna I don't want to make these too long, 20, 30 minutes, hopefully. But if you guys have a lot more emails that come in and stuff, then obviously, like I said, we're going to try to take care of them, as many as I can. Some of them, maybe I'll group together and we'll just cover the general area. And I'll hit on the topics that, or the certain issues that you guys might want to talk about, okay? So, and with that, we'll, this is kind of like I said, I labeled it episode 0. My email will be in the description, so you guys can take a look at it. But I I purchased my chair just recently, a couple days ago, and when I put it together, the desiccant came in a bag, a little paper bag, and it was funny because it says "do not eat," but there's a quote on it. I think it's a very interesting quote, very thoughtful quote, and I think it applies very much to the work that we do as project managers and handling everyone. And sometimes we're just kind of, the unsung heroes. The company gets the glory because, hey, wow, look at that structure, look at that building from the ground up. It's huge. It's a work of art. The construction company gets the credit, but without it being managed correctly, costs can get out of hand. It'll come in, like I said, costs over budget, past the scheduled time it was supposed to end, and overuse of resources. And we'll talk about that kind of stuff. But like I said, this is for those of us doing the dirty work. I've turned bolts, I've hammered nails, I've worked in a lot of the areas that we'll be talking about. But anyways, very famous quote. And I like science a lot, physics. Like I said, I was going to be a structural engineer. That's where I was headed. One of the people that I do admire because of the natural talent they had, Albert Einstein. This is one of his quotes. Try not to become a man of success, but rather to become a man of value. That is just strong on so many levels, guys. Okay, just keep that in mind. And I'll try to get some quotes here and there, inspirational things to keep in mind. And honestly, you just can't let things get stick in your head very much. When you clock out, leave it behind. It can be done another day. Trust me, stressing about things when there's no need to, you're gonna go back in and hit it the next day anyways. Okay, we'll talk about that stuff. All right, that reminds me, I need to add stress, how to deal with stress type of things on there. Okay, but anyways, for now, that's it. Episode 0, introductions. We are done. But please subscribe, let people know, about this. If you go to my page, my channel actually, in the community spot, if you guys want to send a message instead of an email, perfectly fine. I will be checking it regularly, taking notes so that we cover stuff. But let if you work where you have a team, PMs, or the project engineers, assistant PMs, you want them to get some knowledge, have them look this up. Okay, like I said, we're going to be doing it hopefully once a week. I mean, once a week for sure, hopefully twice a week. We can end the week with sharing the experiences and going through the other stuff. And then I'll take the weekend to upload, do the next video, hitting stuff, for you guys to begin the week with. So like I said, email is going to be in the description. Look up the channel, go to the community, have project engineers and other aspiring project managers, in the construction field, especially in the construction field. Have them look this up and subscribe. And then that way, they can get info here and get info from you. And, we can discuss things and get to know each other. Peace out.